What's up, Pete? Here we are. You guys have been reaching out, so Mike and I decided to go ahead and do a midweek kind of a question and answer thing. We've received about 10 questions here, so we're going to go ahead and answer those questions and to make sure that we can at least give you some facts and other is from my own personal experience. And so we're just going to kind of share with you guys. And Mike, I know we're just going to kind of split these questions up, but we know that we have one guy wrote in and he was just asking basically if he weighs 250 pounds and he's trying to lose weight, should he still stay at the 250-pound protein for his protein case? Because, bottom line is that you want to try to at least keep your numbers up same to your muscle mass so that your body weight, 1 gram of, protein per body weight.
Body weight, yeah.
Yeah. And so I was thinking about it and you can give your input too, but I always felt like that if you're an obese person and you don't want to try to keep that much protein, go ahead and drop it down to about 200 because you're going to have a lot of fatty tissues within the muscle mass anyway. So it's better to eat a little bit less to try to bring those calories down. But yet you still want to have a basic balance. You still want to go 40, 40, 20 or whatever percentage you want to go. I know a lot of people try to get really caught up in the macro balance and the percentages and stuff like that. But I just believe that once you actually start and you're doing it for the first time, don't try to be so concrete with everything. Just make sure you're getting a balanced meal in and then watch your intake on that. But I would say no to stand to 250. How do you feel about that, Mike?
I would say the same thing. Keep your, because you're trying to do a calorie deficit anyway, because you're trying to lose weight. Yeah, you want to keep muscle, but you don't want to be to the point where you're keeping the weight on and, you're not really seeing the gains because you're on that calorie deficit, but you're keeping your protein up like you're already cut the weight. If you had cut the weight already, then I would say, yeah, we can keep that protein up so we can keep that muscle, keep that lean muscle looking good. But I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Keep that, bring that protein down. I might even bring down a little, maybe 10 more grams,
Yeah. Just, and you can almost look at it as trying to find a goal weight. So if your goal weight is 200, then go ahead and go with 200 grams of protein.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then that way you can kind of be more equal with that. But just, calorie intake is dependent on your activity. So I can't really tell you to say eat 3,000 calories when your activity and your input output don't match that. So the bottom line is that first count your calories with your protein, see what that number comes out to be. And then, add another, balance of that to get to your 1,500, and that's between carbs and fats.
So I had a person come up and ask me too, sent something and they said, hey, what do you recommend as far as a trainer? Would you recommend an online trainer or a trainer that's going to be at the gym or have their own gym that's going to train you personally when you first start out?
Well, that's kind of a catch-22 to that. I think you and I been around the gym long enough is that just because they're in the gym don't really mean that they really know what they're doing. Right. So the best way to go about doing that, I think online training is just as good as in the gym. But what accountability come into play is that if you're not savvy and you're having a hard time keeping up with what's happening with the computer stuff and how you're going to go and communicate back and forth, if that's difficult for you, then I would say go into the gym. But if you don't have that income that's coming out, do that home gym type situation where you go into the gym, you got a trainer and his rates is a little bit higher than if you had an online trainer, then I would say just, simplify it. The person who's online, I'm sure as an online trainer, he will tell you exactly what buttons to hit, what to push and to take you through that. I believe that it's a great learning process, having a trainer online, because now you get a chance to have that stuff that you can go back and look at during the day, and you get all of the videos that's necessary. You get all of the meal plans and you can kind of keep it in a file and not have to, the only time you got this information is by going back to the gym. So
right, and I one of the things I would say too, also, do your homework on your trainer. Look and see what they're doing. I know you and a few other people that I know that do personal training online as well. your background, how you do it. You're hands-on. You still have that personal touch. You're checking in, you're making sure they're doing what they want to, doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
I like to be hands-on too with my people. So I'm at the gym, or because I have the gym at the house, I do personal training.
Right.
But the thing is, they have people out there that say they're an online trainer, and they just give you something that they cut and paste from somebody else,
Sure.
and these people give them tons of money, and
Yeah.
all they're doing is checking in with them maybe twice a month,
Yeah.
and they're not getting anything out of it. And I'm like, what do you want to do? And they're like, well, I want to compete. I'm like, well, have you ever competed before? No. And I'm like, well, what kind of workouts are you doing? What does your trainer get? Well, they just say do this. I said, have they ever worked you out? Have you ever did you can do a FaceTime workout or stuff like that, just to see if you're doing the right stuff. What kind of intensity they tell you work out? They're just giving them a flat plan that they found, and they give to basically everybody. So that's why I tell people to do their homework and watch what they do. Like I said, when we see you do stuff, we know there's substance behind it. They see me doing substance behind it. I know
Sure.
philosopher, he has substance behind his stuff. And
Yeah.
some people just don't understand that. And I was talking to this one lady, and she said, I pay my trainer this amount of money. And I'm like, wow. And I'm like, so have they ever seen you train? No.
Yeah.
She's asking me for advice in the gym. And I'm like, well, if you're paying that person that much, then
Yes.
I could help you, but I'm not gonna go that route, because one, I don't want to get in that funk. And two, it's just one of those. I'm like, dang, man, what are they?
But the thing with that, Michael, also is that I would tell them to ask that online trainer to see if they got like a library of videos, things that they can go look at.
Right.
Show me what I'm purchasing, and not just send me something through the mail or something, a text or whatever the case may be, right? So
Right.
if they can show you and say, this is where you're going to go and find what I'm telling you to do, it's going to walk you through it step by step. Then then you're getting legit stuff. Because if an online guy cannot offer you a video library of what they've done, also their before and afters, and also getting reports on those befores and afters, you can see all that stuff.
Right.
Then what Michael said is absolutely right. You're probably going to get someone who's going to cookie cut you to death, and you're going to get all these things because you haven't asked for any proof. You know what I mean? So I would always ask for the video library, ask what type of programs they have to offer. Besides just meal plans, what else you offer? Do you offer online videoing? Do we communicate once, 2, 3 times a week? And there's different packages that you can purchase and go that route.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So just because sometimes you see people and you say, oh man, that looks like the right thing right there.
Right.
You got to still do your research on it, because I know people,
Absolutely.
man, I'm like looking at people, I'm like, nah, they not, they look good, but they don't have, some people, just like we talked about before, they just don't, they're not trainers, they great at working out, and their physiques look good, but some people are just not cut out to be good trainers. And because somebody's told them how to do stuff, then all of a sudden now they're expert. It doesn't work that way.
So just be smart. Just be smart. Just be smart, people. Just make sure, whatever you do, you want to know what you're getting, not just assume you're getting. So if they can't show you proof and also send you stuff that you can look at daily, then they're probably not going to be a legit trainer. They hadn't put enough time in their business.
I'm gonna ask a question to you, man.
Okay.
Because this bothers me in the gym. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe because I'm old or whatever. Maybe, I don't know. Hey, when you see people in the gym, man, with like flip-flops or Crocs. I mean, I wear Crocs, don't get me wrong, but I don't wear them at the gym. Like, and they're working out in that. Does that bother you?
It does not bother me. The thing is that it's safety. I look at those people and I'm going, wow, man, the chance of you leaving here with a bad toe or a stump toe or something like that, I think that it's scary when you see that. I would never go up to someone and go, why in the hell you have on those flip-flops? Do you know what can happen to you? I think we learn from experience. And so,
exactly,
you know what I mean? If something like that happens,
I'm on your page. I guess maybe when I said I don't like it or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm looking at. I'm thinking, dang, something can happen to that
Yeah,
person's
yeah, yeah.
toe or
I'm more
foot, and
concerned
I've
about
seen it
them.
before.
Yeah,
Where somebody dropped
yeah,
their and because when you're doing certain exercises, I can see the grip, the or whatever,
yeah,
not being there,
yeah,
and something not, you could tear a knee up, man,
yeah,
ankle, or when you drop that weight, man, it's
yeah.
not.
I mean, we see the people out there who are really experienced lifters, power lifters, and those guys that be barefooted. They're
Right,
called
right,
grounding. I
right,
mean, they're doing it for a reason. It's a
right.
training process.
Hmm.
But if you notice when they go to a meet or an event,
Right.
they're not
No,
in.
no.
You
I'm
know,
just
they
talking
have
about the
shoes
everyday.
on,
I'm
right?
talking about the
So
everyday ordinary
yeah,
person that come in. I'm
yes.
like looking at them like,
Yeah, I'm concerned. When I see people like that, I'm concerned. I'm like, man, I hope this guy or
okay,
girl
okay.
don't do
I just
that.
wanted to know, man, if it was me,
Yeah, yeah,
and that's what I'm probably more on concern than
yeah,
maybe not like.
yeah, yeah. It's a
'Cause I mean,
concern.
because I'll after I work out, I work out my
Yeah,
Converse. I'll take my Converse on, put my Crocs on, or after
yeah,
I referee or whatever, put my Crocs
yeah,
on. But if I'm in the gym, and if you're gonna have them on, at least put them in sport mode.
yeah, yeah. And put a strap on or tie 'em up or
Put
something,
that
right?
strap on the back,
Yeah, yeah.
like
But
sport
you know
mode.
what's selling that, Michael, is you go online and you're on Instagram and you see all these athletes and these different people advertising their product. And
Right,
they say
right,
this is
right,
the
right.
best workout shoe you can ever have. And these are athletes who are training in a controlled environment, not a bunch of
Right,
loose people
right.
around the
Yeah,
gym.
exactly.
And so they're wearing them and they feel comfortable because it's like, dude, I'm just going in here and do some chest and some upper body stuff. I'm
Hmm.
wearing my shoes that I rep, and I'm getting paid to rep these shoes. And so they pop them on Instagram. People go, oh man, those got to be the best shoes that
I
you
want to
can
look
work
like I
out
want to
with.
be like that, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I
I
just
got
think it's one of those things that you kind of like take it in consideration. Like, man, they watch a lot of TV, they see a lot of YouTubes, and they go, oh man, I'm gonna get those shoes too, right? It doesn't improve
I
their
want to look
game.
like that
Yeah,
person.
yeah. It
But yeah,
doesn't
you ain't
improve
gonna
their
work out
game.
like that person though. See,
Absolutely,
you don't know what they're doing
absolutely.
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
They just
Most
advertise the
gyms
shoes,
though,
making
most
waves
gyms
or
will
whatever.
got a strict moment with that. Most gyms will say, hey, look, you got to put on more
Yeah, but
comfortable
you know what,
shoes.
man? Some of the gyms
Yeah,
now are being a little bit lean because I remember
little lenient.
before, if you didn't have shoes on or
You
tennis
couldn't
or
come in.
whatever, they wouldn't
Yeah,
let you. They wouldn't even let you
yeah,
work out. Now,
that's right.
man, these young
Yeah,
kids, they coming in, man. I'm
yeah.
like,
Flip
man,
flops, toes hanging out, all
toes
kinds of
hanging
stuff, man.
out.
Yeah, yeah. Especially where you're at. That's California, bro.
Yeah,
So
man.
they,
I'm
so that's
looking
what they're
like,
gonna do. Yeah, that's what they're
man,
gonna do.
am I,
Yeah,
am I? But I said, but I'm like, but I wear them, but I'm like not at the gym. But I do
yeah.
have not my son, my son that's here. I have another son, and he works out. He's yoked, man, and
Uh-huh.
but he'll do his cardio with his on, but he puts some little strap on, but he never lifts with them on. But
Yeah,
and I can see that that's no big deal. But when you're around the weights and around a lot of people, because see, it may not be you the one that's dropping the weight.
right. Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody else
Absolutely.
drop it on your toe. Then hey, next thing you know, you got to cut
Yeah.
your toenail off.
So I got a guy also asked me, Mike, he was asking me about pyramiding. He said he'd been reading about pyramiding, adding weight on each set or going less or more. And I was asking me, what is the benefits behind it? And from my own personal experience, I think the benefits behind pyramiding, it's just allows you to, number one, hit more muscle fibers as you get heavier and heavier. There's different ways of doing it. Some people do it with reps. Some people do it with weight. It's just dependent on how heavy you can lift. So and it's also a really good way of increasing your strength without trying to go too heavy in the beginning, and you become a power lifter in a sense where you're doing 2 or 3 reps. Especially as a bodybuilder, you want to get stronger so you can put on more muscle. But you also want to be able to have functional movement and have range of motion and have all those things to come into play. So with that being said, the pyramiding for the guy who asked this question is that pyramiding is always good. There's nothing negative about it. It will also allow you to finally figure out what is your threshold when it comes to lifting weights. Because, you can start with 50 and you do, say, 10 sets. Then you go to 70 and then you can do 8 sets, and then you go to 90 and you can barely get 6. Now you know that 70, 75 is your range to where you can train when you want to go straight, 70, 80% of your
Right.
max,
Right.
or you can just kind of have an idea on where if you just want to maintain one weight throughout your workout for as one movement is concerned. And that way you can still hit some fibers that's going to allow your muscles to tear and actually get some growth. So yeah, continue to do the pyramids. I do it all the time. And another person was asking about supersetting, and I think this probably been the same guy, but there was not a message under it. Just said, "What about supersetting?" And supersetting is something that it's an endurance builder, muscle training, endurance,
Right.
and then that way it also allows you to hit one muscle group and then switch right over to a supportive muscle group that will allow you to actually get a so-called hit workout, a faster workout, but yet get those same muscles activated and moving all together. In the world of competitiveness, we do that a lot when we're at the point of trying to start to lean out, because that is the best way to like break down some of the body fat within the muscle tissue, also muscle endurance, and just give you a chance to fatigue that muscle to where your body starts using its last source of energy for carbohydrates, etc.
Right. I even do it now. Like, I do a lot of supersetting. And then sometimes I just do it because if I look at it, I don't have a lot of time. I'll just combine those two different muscle groups that I'll do some chest and back together, or when I do my legs or whatever, just
Uh-huh.
to cut the time period out so I can,
Yeah.
I won't be in
Yeah.
the gym as long or whatever.
Sure.
And I like the feel, I like the
Yeah.
feel, like you say, it gives you endurance, gives you a different kind of burn. It's kind of like a cardiovascular, but you get some endurance, you get strength, and you also can break those muscles down, and you can lean out too with that,
Yeah.
and we do it all the time when we competing and getting ready for our shows and stuff. You start all of a sudden, now you start supersetting, tri-setting, and you're taking it to the you're taking it to the head, and you're just going with this. So
Right. Right.
sometimes people don't understand that, like like we talked about that the other day. People are like, that's just too much.
Yeah.
It's used to that one compound movement or whatever.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
when you start getting advanced and stuff, you want to
Yeah. You change it up a little bit.
change up and do it same regular movements, but you're just doing two different movements, back to back.
Absolutely. So, young lady here was asking about how do you feel, Mike, about when they're doing the glute press and they're using the bar. How do you feel about using the bar compared to the machines? Do you think the advantage is either way, or it's pretty much just safety reasonings? What do you think?
I think safety reason. Sometimes, man, you see people, man, they put way too much weight on the bar, man, and I'm
Right.
like, you're gonna hurt yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
I saw a lady the other day, man. I'm like, are you deadlifting that?
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, um, I like some of the machines. Some of the machines I don't like because the way they're made. You could do like, I'm like, it's one in our gym now, and it's you might as well do a deadlift with it instead of doing the booty lift, man, because
Right.
it's not made for that. It's not. It says the booty lift, but it's not. And then I see some people using. They have a good machine that's strapped down with the bars on
Sure.
the side, and I like that machine. It's probably safer, probably
Right.
feels better. But then when I start seeing people do it with the bar, which everybody started with, that's what everybody started with, the bar.
Yeah.
But then some people start overloading. They start taking it way too far out. You don't
Yeah.
need, and you know as well as I do, you don't need that much weight for that
Right.
exercise in order to grow, in order to firm up, in order to burn fat and
Sure.
burn calories.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I just think I believe that now that they come out with the pad for the bar,
Mm-hmm.
that before then, even though it was hardcore back then, but it was the bar starts to grind away at your pelvic bone. I mean, and I don't care what it's going to do it. People used to wrap with towels and stuff like that. I totally believe that if someone's a beginner, that they should utilize the machines. I just think anytime you can have something that you can just let go and not worry about it coming down on you is better than jumping on something where you got, you know, 5 plates on each side and you're doing over 500 pounds and you're trying to increase your ass. But this is what I believe, people, and I could be wrong. I said ass is all genetics. You either got to have a nice round butt or you're not going to have a nice round butt. I'm sorry.
I'm so glad.
that's
I am
the bottom
so
line.
glad somebody
And
believes it like
yeah,
me.
yeah. And those girls who do create a lift in their butt, it is because they genetically already had it. Now they were able to work a muscle group that was responding. And also, please remember that if you want to look like you have a nice round butt, just go ahead and get nice hamstrings. So if you get nice hamstrings, you're gonna have that little dip right below before your butt, and then now you're gonna look like you got more of a lift. But I'm gonna tell you right now, you can do all of the lunges, you can do all of the butt squats, booms, and all that stuff. And if it's not in your DNA to have a round butt, it ain't happening. And
Could you say that again, please? Say it one more
yeah,
time.
it's unfortunate that if you do not have the DNA to create this round butt, it's just not going to happen. You might get some tightness. You will definitely stimulate a muscle group that you have there, but don't let someone tell you to keep paying for this package so that you can. They're going to show you how to get this round butt. It just doesn't work that way.
Rob, and we see it every day. Look at your competitors.
Yeah.
Look at your competitors, male and female.
Yeah.
If that was the case, then everybody would have a nice big round booty, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you think about it, most of the competitors are the ones who have the genetic background to have the nice round booty on stage, and those are the ones who win. That's just how it is. So so yes, to answer the question to the question is that I think both us can be safe if you're an experienced lifter and you can use the bar. If you're a beginner, you should go ahead and utilize those machines until you actually get the motion down, because there's a lot of core strength involved. You know, your back is your spine, all that stuff is involved, and you can't just copycat what somebody else is doing because your body makeup probably just not going to allow that to happen.
Exactly.
So yeah,
I'm glad. You know what, man? I'm so glad, man. I met you, man, because that's the same thing. You know, I kind of be trying to. Sometimes I try to be nice and be like, "Girl, you ain't never gonna get no ass."
No,
you know,
our guys. I mean, the bottom line, like I said, it's both girls and guys. I mean, we all want
like
a round
butt.
butt.
You see competitors all the time, and you see them lifting. You see them, and
I do glute work all the time.
They got
inner, outer,
they got striations and everything, but they ain't got no big round booty.
Yeah, I do all that stuff. And I think guys, you should be just as focused on tightening your glutes just as anybody else. I mean, everybody wants striations in their glutes, but those are competitors with enhancements. But if you have someone who just an everyday, I mean, you just want to look fit and look good, you still need to work on those glutes. And genetically, once again, it depends on what kind of genetics you got, because I sit there and tell you at age 62, I have a booty, and I don't think I've ever really done that stuff. And I'm trying to make it go down.
I was getting ready to say that, man, because I have 64.
Yeah.
Hey, I remember, man, back in the day, all the girls. As a matter of fact, I used to be at work. Change subject. This one lady, she said, "I'm not trying to sexually harass you." That's when I had my uniform on. She said, "You know what? I could put a drink."
Yeah,
I could put a drink on your butt and it ain't gonna fall.
Absolutely, man. So yeah, make sure you guys are doing the right thing out there when it's time to put that weight across your waist, and it's just it's one of those movements.
It's all about being safe and smart. Now, I think people don't realize that. That's why sometimes I cringe in the gym. I look at what some people do sometimes, and you're like, man, you're an accident waiting to happen.
Yeah. Absolutely, brother.
And I preach safety to everybody. And people say, "Well, I see you." I said, "Well, you know, because people see me lift, you know, when I squat, I just have the bar on my neck, but it's a Smith machine because I can't do." I said, "But I don't never recommend it in anybody." And it took me a long process to learn how to do it that way and do it safely. I did not start putting heavy weights on. I started out with baby weights, the bar, learning how to control it and everything. So I just tell people, you know, be smart when you're in the gym or working out. Practice safety too. Don't just be out there. You know, we see people doing crazy stuff like that. Everybody's not IG stuff, you know, that you see all the people jumping around and everything. Let's just be smart, be safe, man, be practical. It's just basic movements will take you there. And, you know, and
Sure.
that's maybe that on the end note, maybe that'll be it. How we close it up, bro.
Yeah, I have one more here.
Okay.
This guy's asking me about water intake,
Okay.
and so I believe that a lot of people have it backwards when it comes to water. The more water you drink, the less water you're going to retain. Some people go, "What? What do you mean? If I'm drinking more water?" It's because the body will balance itself out, right? And so you also have to understand is that your sodium, your sodium balance, your water balance, all those things is just all going to come to equal balance. And the body is so smart; it's going to flush all that extra
Mm-hmm.
water off your system, and it also is going to help flush with the waste. And believe it or not, it's part of a weight loss program too. If you're drinking enough water, your muscles are going to be full. You're going to feel energized. And if you think about it, if you have I don't know, I just talk about my car. You have a Corvette, and if you run it real hard with no water in it, it starts to run real bad, real fast.
Yeah.
So
Don't sound good. Don't look good.
yeah, so you want to make sure that water intake is there. And also with water in general is that don't try to drink so much water while you're in your meal content, because you don't want to go and dilute all the acids in your tummy. And so when you eat food, you're going to have that stuff filling the whole time. And especially if you drink water on top of it, you're going to feel even more bloated. And now the food is probably going to sit there a little bit longer because all your stomach acid is all diluted and it's not going to break it down as intended. So you can sip while you're drinking. I try to drink at least 32 ounces while I'm training, and then another gallon and a half just drinking during the day. I mean, simplicity creates good behavior. And I believe that. So if you have a water jug and you can just set it at your desk or set it wherever, it's better than having to get up and go get water every time, because getting up to go get water and getting up to go to the restroom is going to be a little bit much. Yeah.
Tedious.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? And that's the thing too. I try to get my intake in earlier as possible.
Yeah.
So I won't have to get up as much during the night,
Yeah.
for me. But and I agree with you. That's what I try to do in the morning when I first get up, man. I drink like 16 ounces.
Yeah.
And then as I go through preparing to go to the gym, and then at the gym, I'm drinking another 32 or whatever. And I'm knocking out a lot of it, prior to, by 12 o'clock, I've knocked out quite a bit. I got that water bottle that be telling me.
Yeah, that's right. You got that computerized water bottle. But yeah, people just try to take it all in consideration of what we're telling you. It's not like we're doctors and we're going to put that disclaimer out there right now, nor are we experts at a lot of stuff. But the bottom line is that we've experienced enough to kind of give you some of the best ideas that we've experienced, and just practice, and then you see what works best for you, and then you can kind of move forward. So we appreciate all of the questions that came out, and if this continues, this is awesome. We're happy to say that we gave out 2 meal plans to the people who did respond to our request, that whoever responded, and they did, and so we took care of that. And so we are men of our word, and so just come join us, man. Subscribe, hit that subscribe button, and come join us. Like I said, we always have our post a comment open, and if you're listening and you want to put something in right now, then do so. I know it's a lot of people are doing all the questions after the fact, which is fine. But if you come on and do it right now, then it gives us a chance. We'll give us a chance to share with everybody all at once. So other than that, Michael, I know where we can find you, but you're going to tell them where they can find you, and we'll move forward.
Yeah. Hey, just want to say our show is on Sundays at 60 Fit Club podcast. We're on Sundays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 o'clock Central Time. You can find me on Instagram at Big Darkness 59 or House of Darkness, and hit me up with any questions. People do that all the time, and people been seeing it. I know people at the gym been even watching it, and they liked our last podcast because they said, "Hey, it gave us some insight." Some people said, "Hey, man, I was kind of intimidated by going to the gym and stuff." So people are watching, but
Yeah.
people are not subscribing. They're not hitting that subscribe button.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
subscribe to it so we can have some more subscribers and we can get up there and maybe get some backers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wink, wink.
What about you,
Yeah.
Rob? How do we get to you?
Hey, man, on Instagram, I'm the legend, Robert Johnson. My website is robertjohnsontraining.com. And the best place to find me and Mike at the same time is 8 o'clock, 6 p.m. on right here. And so Pacific 6 and 8 Central. And you can find us right here and you can hang out with us for like 30 minutes or so. We try not to go anything longer than that because our goal is just to share what you guys are asking. And we come to do what we said we was going to do. So this is our 16th show, and we're very happy about that. And so, hopefully this time at the end of the year, we'll have a serious following and we can really have some extra time on here, because the bottom line is that we can add up to 8 more people on here if you want to come on and talk.
That's right.
All you got to do is have your set up to where we can tag you in and you can come on here and talk and share some things that you might want to share with people on the outside. So we look forward to it. And Mike, I appreciate you, brother. And once again, let's do what we do. Let's practice what we preach, and we move forward.
Let's go with it. All right. Big dog. I appreciate you, big dog.
Peace out, people.
Peace.